Joining me today are three people who are deeply entrenched in education in our state. First, Amber Wallen, Executive Director of New Mexico Voices for Children. Thanks for being here. We also have Oriandi Melas, a teacher at UNM Children's Campus. Thanks for being here. And Wilhelmina Yazzie, parent and plaintiff in the historic Yazzie Martinez lawsuit. That lawsuit put out on the record that minority students, specifically Native American and non-English speakers, haven't been getting the same education opportunities as their peers. Thank you all for being here. Ms. Wallen, you're a big part of early childhood education in our state. How would this money help you deal with the problems that you see every day?
That's a great question. And what we see is that a lot of families in our state are struggling right now. Big challenges when it comes to educational outcomes, things like childhood food insecurity, poverty amongst working parents. We know COVID made that worse for families, especially communities of color and mothers with young children. But I think it's important to note that we're also seeing some improvements and some changes in public policy that have laid a really fertile ground for what this constitutional amendment could do for New Mexico. And what it could do is it really gives voters the opportunity to have a direct hand in saying, how are we prioritizing early childhood and education in our state? When you think about our early childhood space, some of that funding could be used to raise teacher wages, to recognize how important that workforce is for our communities, for our families, and for our economy. It could go towards making some recent incredible expansions in child care assistance permanent for our state. And then when it comes to education, to kindergarten through 12th grade, could go towards supporting teacher salaries, better attracting and keeping people in that workforce, better resourcing our schools so that, so we don't have teachers having to set up GoFundMes to buy construction paper and school supplies, and to really, and this is something Mrs. Yazzie can really speak to well, but we know that families in our state oftentimes have faced big challenges, and that wraparound services, things like social workers in our schools, school nurses, school counselors, ensuring we're providing culturally and linguistically representative educational services, these are all key for success.
Now, Ms. Melas, you have a different perspective here, working with children every day. How could you see that money being applied in some of the ways that Ms. Wallen just mentioned, directly impacting the actual children in your classroom?
Yeah, so I completely agree with that statement. The one thing that I want to say that I disagree is that every fund or every money or amount of money given to early education has passed through several obstacles before it actually gets to teachers' pockets. Maybe in one of them is you have this group of money that it's supposed to go towards specific things or towards specific people or to a specific plan, and it's like a ladder. It goes from the state to the school, from the school to the admins, and then the teachers are the last to either see or hear about that money. It doesn't usually ends up in the teachers' pockets, nowhere in salaries or nowhere inside the classroom that can actually impact the education or the environment of those children. And so when it comes to this discussions, we really have to think about the people who are making those decisions and the people who are sitting there evaluating what this money should go into, because most of the time it's really not going into what we really want, which is teacher salaries and inside the classroom. And so then if you really want to ask someone how to invest the money and where to put it, I think it should come from the teacher inside that classroom.
Ms. Yazzie, a few months ago, the state released its draft plan to help address the lawsuit that you were a part of. First, do you think that plan goes far enough to bridge the gap that you exposed? And second, how would the extra money that's on the ballot help in that effort also?
So the plan came out. It's great to see the plan, but we can't invest in there's a plan, but we need to also invest in our children to start working and to start helping our children. So with this Constitutional Amendment 1 and the funding that will be provided for our children, that'll help us in a great amount with what we were fighting for our children through the school, the Yazzie Martinez lawsuit. There's 4 groups in our lawsuit. There's our Native American children, there's our English language learner children, our children with disability, and children that come from low income. Those are the 4 groups that we represent in the school suit. Overall, with this funding, it'll really help our children to, we've been saying this over and over, that we need to support our children in a way that we prepare them for life, to be college and career ready. And I am very firm with that because as a Diné Navajo mother, my mother was an educator for a very long time too. So I kind of have that history and know a little bit of that experience. So with that, just preparing our children just to thrive and to learn, that's pretty much the basic and most important that for this funding is just to prepare our children.
We have more money than we had in the past. There was a legislative brief that was released recently that showed that the state has reached a funding benchmark that was set in the lawsuit. And now there's an opportunity for more money. But are you satisfied with how that money would be spent, the specific ways that money would be spent? Like you say, money's good, but it needs to be applied in a specific way. Would you like to see more direction from the state on that?
You used the term satisfied. I think when I'll be satisfied is when our children are thriving and when our Native American children and the four group children are given the opportunity and are excelling. I haven't seen that as a parent in our public school system yet. There's no changes. So, we talk about funding, that funding is the main issue. Well, we have this opportunity now. We have this great opportunity to amend the Constitution, one, to provide for our children, to get that funding out, to use that funding that's been sitting there. This is a great way to start, to use it towards our children. That's our first priority, and to see the future that they're thriving and they're learning and given what they're needed.
Now, some opponents of the constitutional amendment point to the fact that oil and gas revenue is booming right now, and that means that because it's a percentage base, right now it's 5% of the land grant permanent fund that would come out, that the dollar amount is also increasing. What would you say to that concern, that the money's already rising, and now there's a chance to bring in more?
Yeah, why now? I think that's a great question, and it's an important one because it's true, the state's in a really strong fiscal position right now, but that is largely based on temporary sources. So we know that part of that is from federal COVID relief, which we know is obviously time limited. And then as you said, Lou, part of that is because we're in that boom point of the oil and gas cycle. But the reality is we've seen this so many times over the years. When the oil and gas industry is doing well, so too are state revenues. When the industry inevitably a few years later goes bust, so too do revenues, and we see harm in our state budget. Meanwhile, we've seen the state's land grant permanent fund, or the permanent school fund, go from $10 billion in 2009 when New Mexico Voices first started working on this issue to now almost $26 billion, climbing steadily over the years. So what we really need to be having the conversation now is really how are we diversifying the revenue that goes to these incredibly important programs.
I have one final question for all of you guys, so I'll go around the table starting with you, Ms. Yazzie. As a state, New Mexico is unfortunately near the bottom of every national education metric. Starting fundamentally, if we were to get more funding, what fundamental changes would need to happen in order to turn that around?
Well, first of all, just make our children our priority. That's the first step. Especially now with early childhood education. That's, I think, the beginning of where, they start learning and where we start to prepare them. So that's where these programs are very crucial, and the funding and everything. So from this Yazzie Martinez school suit, I started the case when my oldest son was in 3rd grade, and now he's in his 2nd year of college. And we won the case almost 5 years ago. And that was a big step to try to, get our education system back on track, to get off of that 50th in the country. We haven't seen many changes yet. I haven't seen many changes. And again, the teachers, that's another thing, as she mentioned, that they're not supported enough. And I totally agree with that. They're not given all the support that they're needed. They're not paid enough, and especially early childhood education right now. They are in the most important years of our children's lives. with this at that stage, pre-K, kindergarten, you know. And my traditional aspect, you know, we hold our children very sacred. There's a lot that goes with that. It's our priority and our responsibility to set them in the path of what we call, in my language, ina, which is life. So thank you.
Of course, thank you. Fundamentally, beyond money, what needs to change in our understanding of education and how we treat our children?
I think what we really need to first accept is that early childhood educators are teachers, and they do, like she said, the most important part of every child's life developmentally, and they need to be given that credit. I mean, they need to be recognized. They need to be looked at the same level as any other teachers in the other grade levels, because you know, infant teachers or toddler teachers, they are working just as hard, they're doing as much research, and they're supporting those skills to benefit those in first, second, third, fourth grade. So just funding salaries and funding programs that these children can keep starting from an early age all the way to graduation or college even.
Building on what the other two said, foundational changes that will help pull us as a state out of the bottom of education.
You know, I think the most important thing that we can be doing right now is putting our kids first in every public policy decision that we make. You know, I'm a data person. There's mountains of research about how critical those early years are. Mountains of research about the ties between early childhood programs and how important the teachers are for setting kids on a path to success, to improving health and economic and educational outcomes throughout their life. But I'd also say that, you know, as you've heard today, parents don't need a stack of research papers to tell you what having access to high quality and reliable and affordable early childhood educators and education really means to their families. And businesses don't need control groups, and they don't need decades of research to tell you that when their workers have access to reliable childcare and education, they themselves are more reliable employees. So I think that this is really common sense policy, but Constitutional Amendment number 1 on November 8th really has the opportunity to build in some transformational public policy as well, because if we are giving all of our kids in the state the opportunity to really thrive, we're also doing that for our families, for our workforce, for our economy, and for our state for so many generations to come.
Amber Wallen, Oriandi Melas, and Wilhelmina Yazzie, thank you all for joining us.
Thank
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.